My backyard is a mess right now, and I ordered a tripod so I don't have to like hunch over at this fence right here when I'm outside. I tried to make Bitcoin talking head videos like a year and a half ago. It's kind of been an ongoing thing because I've watched Bitcoin videos on YouTube since 2015, but I was kind of just talking to the void and they weren't going anywhere. And then Sunrun solar videos and like suburban homesteading and like permaculture videos took off for a while. And so that's where I actually like got in the groove of like doing YouTube better and hopefully a little more entertaining. But then, dude, a solar mining video kind of picked up steam for Bitcoin. And I've been really thankful to just kind of be able to sit here and like actually talk about Bitcoin, with you and like with an actual audience. And so I'm really thankful for that. And so, yeah. I want to talk about Bitcoin price videos. Okay, so back in the day, I would watch a lot of Tone Vace, this guy named Tone Vace, and you can still go to his channel. He would do a lot of technical analysis, classic, just like trading videos, right? Like classic Bitcoin price technical analysis YouTube video. And they would be these just casual live streams for hours of where just sitting and staring at the chart and listening to him talk. And then he would have guests on. And what was great about it was in the early days, you're like searching Bitcoin and you're wanting to know, am I going to be rich? Am I going to be rich tomorrow? Am I going to be rich tomorrow? Like, is the price going to go up? Like, what are we doing? How's it going? Like that kind of thing. But what you gather along the way is just as important. And what you gather along the way is kind of the philosophy of Bitcoin or like the mission of Bitcoin or kind of like what a lot of the people involved with the open source software and the early adoption of it are trying to do, which is really kind of create this global movement for Bitcoin to be the world reserve currency. And you go into lots, and you can cover that so many angles and so many different ways about how the dollar is bad for the world and Bitcoin is better for the world. And you kind of pick that up over time. And then you also kind of pick up over time kind of how different people from different years of adoption kind of look at new updates, because Bitcoin is software, like it's active software that's always being worked on and little updates are always being kind of pushed out. And just an example for today is like what I liked was Tone had been like following Bitcoin for a long time, right? And so when Lightning Network came out, and a lot of like kind of newer to Bitcoin people were like very excited about it and very just like use it and try to figure out all about how to use it. But it truly, like, learning how to use an L2 is honestly kind of like relearning how to use Bitcoin. And so you had kind of these newer people that were very excited about it and the new things that it offered. And I just remember Tone being like, yeah, that's great. Like, I just haven't really had a reason to like download it yet or like use it yet. And I just thought that was awesome, like his long-term kind of perspective on that. And then the other thing they would do is they would constantly kind of show like coinmarketcap.com from like back in the day. And you would see this like revolving door of the top 10 coins and new names and old names were constantly being like added in and taken out and things like that. And that's where a lot of the kind of just like the classic altcoin bashing from back in the day came from, was from that thing of like none of these other protocols with tokens attached had been able to really like stand around and stick around and gather momentum and gather product market fit and do that. And so that's where a lot of that was coming from. And that was really interesting information to just be absorbing. And then the other thing that these like really casual live streams gave was, I do think, like a community, like kind of the camaraderie of realizing that there's other people like out there, around the world, but then just in the US that would come on the show and they would just talk about how, long they'd been in Bitcoin and why they liked it and their perspective on it. And that's when you really realize that like not all Bitcoiners are the same and they have differing opinions, even back then and today, even more so. But yeah, specifically on kind of that Lightning Network example of just like them having different opinions about like new additions and not needing to test everything new or not needing to have like some loud, like outspoken opinion, good or bad way about new things. That what's really interesting is now the thing of today, like ordinals and kind of the Bitcoin layer twos of today, you see kind of this like outrage, like this like, oh my God, like this is breaking Bitcoin or whatever. And And to me, that's very funny. Like, that's very funny because when you would watch these, again, Bitcoin price videos that would turn into just kind of like casual live streams, one thing they often repeated also was like, anything useful from crypto will find its way to Bitcoin. Anything useful from crypto will find its way to Bitcoin. And what's interesting is that's playing out today. Like, that's playing out, I think, in real time. But then you have kind of some of the same people that would show up on that show are like frustrated about that. And so that has taken 10 years of watching Bitcoin price videos and watching thousands of Bitcoin videos, talking to thousands of Bitcoiners, you know, both in person and online, about just how the software is evolving. And that's what you get from watching the price videos. So watch the price videos, check on your investment, check on the price, check on everything. Remember to focus on the Bitcoin units themselves also, and not always just the USD exchange rate of it. And pick up just the different styles of people that have, you know, stuck with stacking for the long term over time. Positive update on the Bitcoin price videos and crypto price video front of recent times is that there's more videos and more channels now talking about the price of altcoins measured in Bitcoin. And I think that's super, super valuable. Like, I have a developing thesis that like Bitcoin is the base currency of the legacy world, and it's like competing with fiat, and it's also the base currency of crypto / Web3. And that's how protocols that have tokens are to interact with Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, especially in the modern video landscape, it's there's a lot of tension. Like, there's a lot of tension between Bitcoin and altcoins. But when you like really zoom out, almost everybody holds Bitcoin. Like, yes, there's like Bitcoin maximalists, and like that as a term has like frustrated a lot of people, and that has taken on its own like meaning on other social media and the laser eyes and whatever and all that. But literally, I'm not even talking about that. Like, push that to the side for a second and literally just look at it through the lens of like Bitcoin started the entire movement and has the most network effect and the most name ID and the most product market fit. And so if you're looking at other tokens, keeping an eye on its price in Bitcoin kind of gives you a gauge of its relative kind of like impact related to the biggest mover for cryptocurrency in general. And you want to be aware of that because USD is not a valid measuring stick. It's not a consistent measuring stick. My base thesis is that everything measured in USD is going to go up. Real estate, interior square footage, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the like food at the grocery store, random stocks that you pick, random crypto that you pick, Bitcoin. Like, it's all going up measured in USD because USD is not a valid measuring stick. So as you're searching around Bitcoin price videos and crypto price videos, keep an eye out, and I would give extra attention to people that keep their eye on the Bitcoin price of tokens as well.